Hey team, how we doing? This is Coach Dana Cavalea checking in with you today. And today I want to talk about an important lesson. It's very personal to me, and it really has to do with dominating yourself and dominating your thought life and owning your thought life. And as I tell this story, it's going to take you back to when I was a young baseball player and a player in general, baseball player, in my younger years. And I got a chance to experience some really interesting things for the first time from the psychological standpoint of the game. And I was always a really good hitter in terms of power and driving the ball. And I would get it done in big situations. But there were times where, in the middle of my day, before I even took the field, I'd start to get nervous. I'd start to sweat a little bit and start to question my own mindset. What I was able to do, what could I do? What am I going to do today? Am I going to be able to get it done today? I don't know. And I'd start this whole internal dialogue as a middle school kid, and it carried over into high school. And what's interesting, as I go through life now, I still have that repetitive theme that takes place. I've just obviously learned how to harness it and deal with it. But as a young man, you don't know how to deal with those skills. You don't know how to deal with those thoughts, rather, because you don't have the skills to deal with them. And that constant chatter and that thought process can actually take you over, and you're taken out of the game before you even start the game. And I'm talking about the game of baseball, but for those of you that are not athletes or coaches, and you may just work at a competitive job or in a workplace, or you may just have these thoughts in general, having to do with your work life, family, business, whatever it may be. I hope this lesson in particular could apply to you. But when you overthink, you can get in some serious trouble. And something we used to say a lot about the best baseball players, we used to say dumb guys make great baseball players because they have no short-term memory, and what they did yesterday doesn't carry on into today. And for those that are more analytical, a little more cerebral, it becomes much more difficult to vaporize what happened yesterday and not bring it in to what we do today. And that's dangerous. But going back to those days for me as a younger guy, that constant thought about events that have not even happened yet or may not happen, you could take yourself out of the game before the game even starts. You can kill your chances for success by thinking about the negatives and what negatives could possibly happen, and the fear of failure and not getting it done under pressure and just not getting it done in general. Those are dangerous thoughts to have. And I'm somebody that's a seeker, and I always try to take my experiences and share it with others and say, why were those thoughts happening? And I realized that the thoughts were happening because there was fear present, and it was about what's going to happen next, or what if I don't get it done? And it's almost like, well, so what? Now my mentality is, so what if you don't get it done? You'll get another shot, you'll get it done next time. But again, if you don't have the confidence to turn that page, or the confidence within yourself to know that you will be able to get it done, that's when the stress, that's when anxiety starts, that's when you start to flip. And if you start to plan your whole life in your head and plan what's going to happen and what may happen, what may not happen, and what if this, and what if that, you're scripting something that is not even real. Because until you actually go through life, you'll never know how you're going to actually respond, or what the results of those things will be. All we can do is prepare ourselves for what may happen. And the more time that we spend in our head, that's when you're dead. Because I don't know if any of you have ever, started a business or planned, for success in life or business, and you have this whole plan written down on paper, and you go to execute it, And 3 months into the plan, you realize the plan's junk. It doesn't work. It's garbage. You're already past that plan. You had to pivot 3 times. The money you thought you were going to have didn't come in. So therefore, you're forced to do some other things. Your people weren't responding to your original plan, so you had to abort your plan. Same thing in baseball. You were, looking for an off-speed pitch. He caught you up with a fastball. You were looking for a fastball. He threw an off-speed pitch. You had to change your plan. And you got to be able to pivot in life. You got to be able to shift. You got to be able to switch the tracks and not be so stuck on the plan. You can have an idea. You could generalize what you would like to happen. You could visualize what you would like to happen as an end result. But you got to realize the path to get to that end result is definitely going to be a windy one. And going back to myself as that young man, I thought everything in life was linear because I didn't know any better. But if I took that same approach now as an older guy, that everything was linear, I would be stressed out of my mind and I'd be set up for some epic disappointments because life is not linear. So as I'm talking about mindset here and I'm talking about success and I'm talking about overcoming your fear, the one thing that I've learned in all of my years of coaching and improving the performance of high-level athletes and CEOs and executives is I teach them the word acceptance. When you resist things and you fight things, that's when anxiety, that's when stress, that's when everything gets worse for you. But if you accept things and on the other side of that acceptance, you let yourself know that everything's going to be all right and you know in your soul that everything's going to be all right, it's not that bad. I once read something that said, hey, what's the worst thing that could happen to you here? That's a fair question to ask yourself. Oh, I don't pass the test. Well, you have to take the test again. Oh, I didn't get accepted to that school. Well, you have to reapply or take another shot somewhere else, or maybe that school actually wasn't for you. And that happened to me so many times in my life personally, where I was planning for something, that plan didn't work out, and thank God it didn't. And that's how I ended up with the Yankees. That's how I ended up, having so many other great things and blessings happen to me. So I really can't stress enough having a vision for yourself, but not over planning and over navigating and trying to over control every situation in your life, because you can't. You cannot control everything. You can control what you can control. You can control what you put in your mouth. You can control what you think about all day long. You can control how you react to things. But other than that, you can't control anything else. You can't control how other people will react to you. You can't control what's going to happen at work today. You can't control what's going to happen on the field, but you can control how you react to all of those things. So the word acceptance is such a powerful word because for me, it relates to the word flow. And look at everything as just flowing. And if you try to stop that flow, you're going to expend so much energy, and in the process, you may actually get run over. I had this spoken to me one time. A woman had said to me, Dana, I want you to think of life as flowing water, like a hard flowing river. And if you try to stop it, all that pressure is going to run you over. And I know it sounds like a very basic analogy, but what if you just went with it? If you just go with the flow, as opposed to resist the flow, man, you're going to start to flow. And I know that sounds very cliche and very, okay. How do I do that? But it actually works. And the how is what most people don't talk about. You got to relax, people say. Yeah, I know. Don't stress. Yeah, I know. But then when you start stressing about stressing or not stressing, that's when you get nuts. So the how comes down to accepting. When something comes to you, don't spend that much time analyzing it. Just say that is what it is. Something's coming at you. It is what it is. We'll figure it out. And if you have that attitude, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Nothing will eat you up. And that is where you can really reach that true flow state and truly optimize your overall mindset and mental performance. And that's what I hope for all of you and anybody that deals with higher levels of anxiety and stress, and again, very common in type A leaders, people that run companies. They're trying to prevent the downside on everything and trying to mitigate and manage risk. And you got to trust that you have the right people you've hired, you've built the right foundation, you have the right processes in place. And once you have that, you got to trust it. You got to trust the plan and know that things are going to happen. Business and life, sport, very volatile. And if you choose to play, life, obviously you don't have a choice. You got to play. There's risk. So deal with it. And also know that everyone else is going through the same stuff as you. They're going and dealing with the same risk factors that you are. So keep your life simple. Don't resist the water, or you may drown. Let things come to you. Take them as they come, and handle things that need to be handled. But keep going forward. And don't be that guy sitting in the lunchroom thinking about the game and at times failing before the game even started and thinking about the negatives and thinking about the disappointments. Don't think that much about it. Just be. And I'll leave you with this. Watching guys like Mariano Rivera and Derek Jeter, it was so amazing that these guys stressed over nothing. They trusted themselves. They trusted that they can play the game, but they didn't overthink the game. They executed their routine. They believed in themselves, and they went out and had fun. And you got to do the same thing. Sports, life, or business, you got to have fun. Don't resist the water. If you guys want a little more motivation and inspiration, every day I put out a daily blog, 6:02 in the morning. Go to danacavalea.com. Get on the newsletter. I think you'll enjoy it. I love writing it. I love coaching you guys and helping people to gain a little bit more perspective every single day. Real perspective, not sugar-coated, scientific-based studies of research that are oftentimes paid for, but real, in the trenches, case studies of real people and real experiences, and a lot of my own as well. So I love coaching you guys. We're in this together, and we got a great book coming out that I wrote. I'm really excited to share with you 15 lessons. It's called Becoming a Champion in Sports, Life, and Business. And I hope you enjoy it and can get your hands on it when it comes out. We're finalizing it now and getting it ready, and I think you're going to love it. But anyway, this is Coach Dana Cavalea signing out. I'll see you guys soon.